I need to know. I need to know, yeah. Is it programming, social media, or a secret to uncover? So educating, so wise, informative and bright eyes. What's the evaluating game? Revelation is the aim.
I need to know, I need to know, I need to know. You need to know, you need to know, you need to know. We all need to know. What do you need to know? What do I need to know? What do we all need to know? Here we discuss about people that thought Bible contradict each other. And as I used to say, there is no single place in the Bible from Genesis to Revelation where Bible contradict each other. Instead of contradicting each other, Bible complements each other. The major problem that many of us are having is that we read our mind to the mind of the author instead of allowing the mind of the author to read into our mind, which is exegesis. But many of us are doing exegesis, thinking this is what he's saying. You don't depend on what your mind, your thoughts, your thinking, your imagination is saying, but you have to read. Bible says, study to show yourself approved. You need to study the Bible in the language of the Bible. Bible have its own language, its own grammar, and its own text and context. So anytime you read your mind to the mind of the author, that's where you'll be thinking that Bible contradicts each other. There's no place from Genesis to Revelation where Bible contradicts each other. So somebody sent me these Bible passages, the book of Romans chapter 3, verse 8, and the book of James chapter 2, verse 24. So this is one of the most important texts in biblical hermeneutics. Don't forget, hermeneutics is Bible, the act of Bible interpretation, the art and science of Bible interpretation. And it is, this place is one of the important texts in biblical hermeneutics, and it is often misunderstood. It's often misunderstood, but let us handle it carefully, textually, and theologically. The book of Romans chapter 3, verse 28, and the book of James chapter 2, verse 24. It's going to be in two parts. So Romans 3:28 says, therefore, we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law, that is the works of the law. Paul is the one that is communicating here. He says, therefore, we conclude, that is, we conclude that a man is justified. Man is justified by faith without works of the law. That is, you don't need anything to add for you to have to be saved. We are saved by grace, not by works. So the book of James also says something, but it's almost different, but it's the same thing. It says, ye see then how that by works a man is justified. But the book of Romans says man is not justified by works, but by faith. But here, James is saying man is justified not by faith alone. But Paul is saying man is justified by faith alone. So let's see the apparent contradiction. Paul says justified by faith without works. Justified, faith, justified without works. James says justified by faith and not by faith, justified by works and not faith alone. So are we saved by faith alone or by works? So which other way? So people thought there's contradiction, that maybe we are saved by faith alone, or we are saved by works, or we are saved by faith and works. So which one is the Bible saying? So let's see the hermeneutical interpretation. That the key words, there are some key words that you must be able to interpret for you to understand what the Bible is saying. Some words, different uses. There are some Bible verses, there are some Bible words, Bible languages, Bible grammar. They will speak in English. You will write it in the same meaning. The same sentence, the same spelling, the same pronunciation, but they will have different meaning. That's why you need to be able to understand the Hebrew language, the Greek language, and the Aramaic language, because that is the languages the Bible was written. So both authors use the word justify. They use the word justify by faith, justify by works. So justify, but not in the same sense. So when you see justify is justify, but by the time you now go into the deeper meaning, deeper revelation, you'll be able to see they have different meaning. So the Greek word, the cow, D-I-K-A-I-O-O, the cow, which is, this word can mean to declare righteous. That is, the cow in Greek can mean to declare righteous. That is legal, forensic senses. So it also can mean to show or prove righteousness. Demonstrative sense is different from legal or forensic sense. So you must be able to understand that the word, the cow, which is about justify, number one, means to declare righteous. It can declare you righteous. That is legal, forensic sense. Number two meaning that you can put into meaning to that justify is that to show or prove righteous. That is demonstrative sense. It's not legal. You have to demonstrate it, which is work. But to prove, to pronounce you, that is legally, you don't need to prove anything. That is faith and works. So what is Paul context? The Paul context in the book of Romans, what is he saying? What Paul is describing or addressing, how a sinner is declared righteous legally, without any works, without any addition, but just by faith. God now declare you righteous before God. So therefore, combating legalism and reliance on the Mosaic law. Paul, meaning justification, God's legal declaration. God's legal declaration. That is basis, faith alone. You don't need work. It's God that declares you. If a judge declares somebody acquitted, even though he or she committed that sin, and the judge acquits him or her, there is nothing you can say. It's not that he didn't commit that thing, he committed, but the judge just acquitted him. So that's what God is saying. That's what Paul is saying, that God justify you by faith, not by your works. So therefore, Paul, meaning justification, God's legal declaration. Base, that is faith alone, is by faith alone. Works excluded as a cause. God declares you. He says you are not a sinner. It's just because you have faith and God declares you that you are not a sinner. So therefore, works, you don't have any works to do. You don't combine any work. God just declare you, and that's all. So the book of Romans chapter 4 verse 5. Romans 4:5 says, to him that worketh out, but believeth, his faith is counted for righteousness. So that means your faith is counted for righteousness. Your faith is counted for righteousness. So that's why God justify you. That is, he declares you. When we say justification, that means it's not that you are not a sinner, but God, in his mercy, because you believe, it's by faith, you believe in the works of Christ on the cross, and he declare you that you are not a sinner. You don't have any work that you do. It's not by prayer, it's not by fasting, it's not by anything, but he just declare you that you are no more a sinner. So that's what Paul is saying in the book of Romans. The book of Romans chapter 3 verse 28. But James is talking about you are justified by faith, not by faith alone. So tomorrow we see what to do about that, so that we can be able to see and complete it by the special grace of God. Watch out for part 2. Shalom.